72012. Tell them you heard it on Power 108.9. What up, Credit Craig?
In a world of petty and immature people, it's refreshing to hear a morning show that has sophisticated hosts such as Michael McFadden and Jay Nash. Don't believe me? Take a listen.
But shout out to our friends over there at Credit Building Professionals. What up, Credit Craig?
I tried to come with you.
Yeah, thank you very much. That's what she said. Ooh.
Oh.
Hey.
Power 108.9, a station for the people.
Yeah, I get lifted, you get lifted, we get lifted. Let's get lifted. I get lifted, you get lifted, we get lifted. Let's get lifted. I get lifted, you get lifted, we get lifted. Let's get lifted. I get lifted, you get lifted, we get lifted.
And we're back, guys. Welcome back to Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited that you guys are here today. You have absolutely no idea what we have in store for you. It's such a banging show. Let me tell you, we cover all things cannabis, culture, and commerce on this channel. So if that's something that you're interested in, make sure you share this out. I'm your host. I'm your girl, Tangenica, and I am here to tell you all about the latest and greatest that is going on in the fastest growing industry in the entire world, and that happens to be cannabis. If you didn't know, if you under a rock somewhere, if you ain't been watching the news or don't know what's going on in the United States of America, let me tell you something. Cannabis was just added to so many states. 20 more million Americans now live in a legalized state. Do you understand what just happened? We are now at 15 states with adult use, ladies and gentlemen. 15 of them things. 35 states now have some type of medical on the books. Mississippi was just added November 3rd. Did you know this? Did you know this? So what does that mean? What does that mean, y'all? Well, we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about what are the pros and the cons of full legalization in the United States. We're going to talk about a very unique story that intersects with cannabis culture and commerce with a black celebrity and how these black celebrities keep getting got, okay, when they sign up for these deals with these corporations. And we're going to talk about opportunities that you guys need to be aware of in this industry. But I want to start off, guys. I definitely want to start off with not a controversial question today. We're not going to do that today. We're going to talk about 5 areas that black people can dominate in the cannabis industry. I think this is so huge and such an important thing to discuss because so 4 states came on board. We got Montana, we got South Dakota, we got Jersey, and we got Arizona, right? Arizona and Jersey, they've been medical. South Dakota legalized medical and adult use at the exact same time. And then Montana came on board. So let me tell you, Jersey, I was on I've been like busy all week because of the legalization. My PR has had me doing crazy stuff. So I'm so happy and so grateful to be able to lend my voice to such a big situation in history. Historic times are upon us, okay? So I want to know, out of Jersey, who's so close to New York, which has all the stop and frisk, all of the negative effects of the war on drugs, happened a lot in New York, happened a lot in Jersey, happened a lot in Philly and Pennsylvania and all those places. Jersey's legalization document was over 200 pages, apparently over 95,000 words. And the 2 words, social equity, didn't appear once. It didn't appear once. So I know what happened. I told my friends, I was like, listen, the person who was supposed to write that portion of the legislation got COVID. Okay. They had to sit this one out. They couldn't introduce it in time, right? They couldn't submit their wording in time. So they just legalized it without the right wording. That's what happened, because any other excuse is just unacceptable. The fact that you didn't feel it was necessary to include legislation and wording specific to the people most harmed by the plant that you just legalized lets me know you never gave a fuck in the first place. Let's just stop playing, okay? And people were truly upset and hurt by this. I just can't understand why. Why are you still getting upset by this? Why is this still bothering you that people that put you in this position don't want you to get out of it? Please help me understand. Help me understand it. But it's okay. It's okay. We cannot dwell on what has happened. We can try to fix it. They actually stopped the legislation in Jersey. Big up to them. All my friends in Jersey was like, no, 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 halt. We're going to stop this. We're going to toss this paperwork out, and we're going to come with legislation that we want to see. So while they're doing that, right, while they're asking for social equity, while they're asking for things to be fair and put in their favor by people who put them in that situation in the first place, let's just talk about what we can do. Let's talk about opportunities that we can take advantage of as Black people who have the sauce and the juice, okay, when it comes to everything. Let's talk about what we can get involved in the industry that might be something that we can dominate. Let's start with accessories. As you can see here, I have some dope, well, you probably can't see because this is a show, or you probably can if you're on Facebook or wherever. I have some dope glasses, right? And the glasses are from a young lady who has been doing cannabis accessories for a minute. And I actually supported her because one day she came on my timeline and I was like, oh, I got to be a part of this. Her name is Sweet Chi Baby Speaks, and it's SweetChibaby Speaks. Okay, so she is creating accessories for the cannabis connoisseur who wants to display the fact that they consume and don't have a problem with whoever knows, right? So I think accessories, and I can very well see these being on the level of Chanel. I can see this being on the level of, a top high-end fashion designer. I see her going in that direction. So I definitely wanted to support early, let people know I've been here, been around. And she has this crown. I did a photo shoot yesterday where I have this cannabis crown on my head. And she created this crown that is so amazing, so beautiful. And again, I can absolutely see this in music videos. I can see this, somebody who is a cannabis politician who's running on that. They can display this. They don't necessarily have to smoke or show that they have a joint or a blunt or something in their hand, but they want to display it in other ways. So she has earrings, she has crowns, she has sunglasses, she has all of these things. So I love, love, love it. So think about how you can enhance the lives of cannabis consumers in a myriad of ways. Okay, so cannabis accessories is one. Let's talk about sports. We got to talk about sports. There's so many athletes, cannabis athletes out there, and so many athletes that are coming into this industry because they understand that CTE is a problem with football. They understand that body injuries and body harm is possible in basketball, soccer. All of these sports have this physical factor to it that can cause harm, or over time, even if you never got injured in the sport, the wear and tear on your body over the years is something that you absolutely have to pay attention to. Your back, your knees, your ankles, all of those things can be affected by long-term use of playing a sport or I do pole competitions. Even that, it has a strain on my back, strain on my wrist, all of that stuff. So sports people, right, coming into the industry, I can pretty much see a LeBron James type endorsing a CBD brand and completely changing the game. Like when those people start to come into the cannabis industry, like we have retired football, retired basketball, retired people now. But when you have someone that's active, that's absolutely playing right now, if they came into the cannabis industry right now, that's going to change the game for everything. So let's start to look at sports, and I'm talking about sports therapy, looking at creams and different things that you can not only endorse as your brand, but also something that you can partner along with, something that you believe in, something that won't make you fail your analysis, that won't cause any type of problems with the rules and regulations of the game, but you can absolutely get into the sports aspect of this, and a lot of athletes are starting to do that. Let's talk about music. Music is the sauce of everything. Music is a vibe, especially when you consume cannabis. People don't understand that there's part I've done a talk about this where the different parts of the lobes in your brain, how they're affected by cannabis, and the occipital lobe and um, I forgot the name of the other lobe because I'm trying to tell you. Well, anyway, the one that affects time and the one that affects time and space and reality, and then the other one that affects your hearing, those are combining and those are affected in a different way. So in real time, you're listening to the song and you're hearing instruments that you've never heard before. You're hearing, ad libs, or you're hearing something in the song that you've never heard before because you're really present. You're listening intently, and now your favorite song is amped up or amplified even more because of cannabis. And so my music professionals out there, especially the ones that aren't afraid to tell you that they consume cannabis, you can start a label just specifically on cannabis music. This is a real thing, especially being, in the music capital of the world. Atlanta is the sauce. Atlanta influences everything. And so when I tell you being down here and seeing people consume and then go in the booth and just, spit fire and make sure that they're giving you their all, and you hearing the next song that's coming out that's going to be a banger, of hit, that's what cannabis can do for you. And I'm so excited about the opportunities because a lot of our artists aren't getting paid the way they should. A lot of our artists are dealing with contracts that they shouldn't be in. And this is a way for you to even the playing field. You don't even have to sign to anyone. You can create a community within the cannabis community that will 100% support you and your music. Artists like Lizzie Jeff, artists like Pinky Killer Corn, artists like Currency, like all of those artists are cannabis artists, but they can specifically focus on just bringing out cannabis music or finding cannabis artists, and that's the way for you to go. And then when to pivot off that, not just music but film. Again, Atlanta is a real big hub for film and for Georgia in general for film. So start creating movies that showcase cannabis consumers in a positive light. We produce all types of comedies and action, and now we're starting to get into sci-fi, which I'm really excited about. But all of that cannabis can enhance. Or even think about AI and virtual reality, how cannabis, what I want to do, I'm going to tell y'all my idea, because if y'all steal it, I'm going to come after your ass. This is what I came up with. I want to showcase how someone consumes cannabis and how it affects every organ in your body. And I want to do that through virtual reality. So you consume it, and then the smoke comes down to your lungs, how it affects the alveoli, how it affects how it crosses the bloodstream, how it goes into the blood-brain barrier, crosses that. I want to showcase that from a scientific perspective, how cannabis works in the body. And I think that's so important for people to visually be able to see that and why it's so effective. See it attaching to the receptors that you already produce in your body. I think that's going to do something mentally for someone who truly doesn't believe, who truly thinks it's a gateway drug, who thinks it has no medicinal value, which is still the lies that we're being told by it being on the Schedule 1 substance abuse list. So we have sports, we have accessories, we have music, we have film, we have data. I truly believe black people know way more than they, let off to know. We're so smart, but we know why we consume. We know why our friends consume. We actually have conversations about this. So if you were to start a data firm to showcase why, veterans consume, or why your mama consumes, or why your cousins them consume, or anyone, or what they use to consume. Do they use blunts? Do they use rolling papers? Do they use bongs? What do they use to consume? If you were to get that data and then put it all together and then package it up and sell it, you are the next Facebook that we're sitting on. You're the next Twitter that we're sitting on. All of those big corporations are just data. That's basically what they are. They disguise it in the form of entertainment and social, social cues or whatever, social media, but that's not what it is. It's honestly just data. And they sell that data to advertising firms, to large corporations, so that they can advertise directly to the target audience that they want to advertise to. So if you were to collect this data specifically for black people, you don't even have to collect it for nobody else. You could sell that data to someone who's trying to target our community. Hopefully you sell it to another black person, but whoever you want to sell it to, or whoever got the highest price. So I truly feel like black people could dominate that part of the industry if you pay attention now and you get in on it. Another thing is the CBD beauty market. I truly, truly need you guys to understand the fact that we have so many hairstylists and barbers and nail techs, and we have so many massage therapists in our industry, chiropractors, foot doctors. We have so many holistic therapists. We have so many people in our industry who are already utilizing holistic practices, who are already using natural alternatives. These are the people that you can target and say, okay, put this in your lock butter or your lock gel, CBD in it. Put CBD in the spray that you spray after you cut someone's hair, or put this in your foot cream so that it can help with pain, or your, there's different ways that you can do this in the CBD beauty industry that I think people are not paying attention to. So I just wanted to give you guys these areas that you guys can work on and get involved in. Again, it's not the only list. We've come up with several opportunities that black people can get involved with, but these are just a few of them that you can get in. Again, accessories, sports, music, data, film, and CBD beauty was another one. Okay, so I hope that helps. I hope that was something that you can take with you and you can run off into the sunset with. We're going to take a break real quick, and we're going to come back to Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9 because we got a lot to discuss today. Jane Green Beauty is a luxury skincare line enhanced by CBD. CBD is 100% legal and it won't get you high. What's so great about CBD is it's the perfect balance of nutrients to moisturize your skin, and it's anti-inflammatory, so it helps reduce swelling and puffiness, leaving you with a youthful glow. Jane Green Beauty is bold. Jane Green Beauty is opulent and decadent, and I promise you, if you try it today, it will be your new favorite skincare regimen. Try our full line of Jane Green Beauty products today.
What's up, family? I call you family because I feel like we can be honest with each other. Nowadays, we all got side hustles and businesses. And in the gig economy, we're all looking for ways to expand our clientele. Power up with 108.9's advertising partnership. Connect to over 100,000 viewers per month. If you're interested, contact our marketing director at thepower1089@gmail.com. Help us reach your target audience and expand your brand. Power 108.9, the station for the people. Tired of all that baloney they force feed you on social media?
Yes.
Then get connected to Power 108.9, a station for the people.
And we're back, guys. Welcome back to Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. I'm so excited that you guys are here today. Let me tell you, November 3rd, we came through the building, okay? We came through the building swinging hard. And if nobody won, because we still don't know who the hell the president is at this point in time, okay? We saying Biden. Everybody else seem to say Biden except for Trump, okay? So at this point, I completely understand that man is just gonna hold on as long as he can to the presidential seat, okay? But until he gives up the seat or until Biden goes in, whatever the case may happen, let's talk about what did happen on November 3rd. Cannabis won, okay? If ain't nobody win, we won, okay? So the states that came on board, let's talk about their demographics. And I'm going to talk about their demographics. I need you to understand why this is important. For several reasons. If you are on the medical side, and I watched a conference call the other day with Roz McCartney of M4MM, Minorities for Medical Marijuana. Brilliant. She said the provisions from the federal legalization are going to favor medical business, okay? So if you're on the medical side of cannabis, you're going to get more tax breaks. You're going to get more incentives, more everything because you're on the medical side. Adult use, not so much. Okay, so with that being said, you have to know what states are legal, what states are adult use, what states have both, and what states have what's the incentive of doing business in that state. So let's talk about it. Okay, so you got Arizona, you got Montana, you got New Jersey, you got South Dakota, and you got Mississippi. Those were the 5 that came on board November 3rd. Mississippi came on as medical, okay? So let's talk about the gross domestic product that they bring. How much money does Mississippi bring to the United States? Why should we pay attention to them? Let's talk about all the states. So first of all, Mississippi brings 0.5% of the gross domestic product to the United States. That's a snippet, so that's not even, it's whatever. Arizona is the next one. They bring 1.8% gross domestic product to the United States. So 1.8% of the money that the United States collects from all the states comes from Arizona. New Jersey is another big one. 2.9%. 2.9% of the gross domestic product comes from New Jersey, 0.2% from Montana, and 0.3% from South Dakota. How many people are unemployed in these states? Let's talk about it. Okay, Arizona, 6.7% are unemployed. Mississippi, 7.1% are unemployed. Montana, 5.3% are unemployed. New Jersey, 6.7% are unemployed. South Dakota, 4.1% unemployed. Household medium, let's talk about that. How much money does the average person make in these states? In Arizona, $62,000. Mississippi, $46,000. Montana, $57,000. New Jersey, $86,000 is the median in New Jersey and $59,000 in South Dakota. Let's talk about the gender gap. Arizona, they're about 50-50 male and female, so you can't go wrong who you pick as your target audience. The average age is 38. The average population, 18 to 64. 60% of the state is between 18 and 64%. 64. The population is 48.3 million. And the neighboring states that you have, in Arizona, you got 3 adult use states that surround Arizona. You got California, Nevada, Colorado, and then Utah and New Mexico are both medical. So I tell you this because interstate commerce is going to happen, especially when federal legalization happens. You're going to be able to cross state lines. You can already do it with hemp. So when marijuana becomes legal, these states are already going to do business with each other on the West Coast. California, Nevada, Colorado, Arizona, all of them are already legal. So you can look to them to start creating a transportation system that's viable, that can create economic resources for all the states involved, okay? So Mississippi, let me tell you, they got 2 medical. They're not surrounded by any adult use. The average age is 38. They have more females than males. 52% compared to 48% are female. The average age, again, is 60% are 18 to 64. And they have a population of 7.7 million. Montana, they are surrounded by North Dakota and South Dakota. South Dakota just came on board with recreational adult use. So that is going to be something that Montana and South Dakota can work together with, okay? The average age is 41 in Montana. They're about 50-50 when it comes to male and female. Again, the race there, 86% white. You got to know this data and statistics so you can know you're not going to come up there with a Black Lives Matter shirt on trying to sell cannabis and think it's going to go well in Montana, okay? That's not going to happen. Jersey, they have 3 medical states that surround them. New York, Pennsylvania, and Delaware are all medical. But because Jersey just went adult use, that's going to flip those other states, okay? The average age is 40. They have 51% female, 49% male, and the per capita income is $44,000, almost $45,000. Okay, so I need you guys to understand this because Jersey has so many opportunities to get this right, and they chose not to. They chose not to. They chose not to add any social equity. They chose not to address any of the harms done to black people from the war on drugs, especially in New Jersey when it comes to black and brown people. They chose not to do this. So you guys have to watch Jersey carefully because everyone else is. And Jersey was one of the tipping points for the rest of the United States. So they said if Jersey goes, then federal legalization is on the horizon. So because of that, if Jersey chose not to do it right, what do you think the rest of the state's going to do? How do you think federal legalization is going to go if you don't pay attention to this? Shit is sad. South Dakota. South Dakota has more males than females, okay? 51% are male, 49% female or women, 82% white in South Dakota. The average median household income is again 59,000. So again, know your demographics, know where you're going, know how to service these people. If I am in Jersey, based on these demographics, again, medium household income 85,000, white is 54%, black is 13%, Hispanic 21%. So you can go to if you got a product that the Hispanic people will like or black people will like, you can definitely go to these places and the average age is 40. Again, more women than men. Start looking at what products or what services you can offer that check these boxes. And in the middle of it is your sweet spot. That's the product you need to offer. That's the consultation you need to offer. That's all the business that you can do in these parameters. I think you guys need to understand this for so many reasons. Again, if they won't prioritize us getting into the cannabis industry, we have to force it. We have to make it happen. And the only way we can make it happen is with information, is with data, is with statistics that people aren't telling us, but it's just a Google search away, okay? It's not even that deep for you not to know what the prices of cannabis is right now, for you not to know how much a license is in the state that you're in. It's nothing for you to Google these things and be well informed of what's happening. And the reason that you guys should be more informed about what's happening is because these people are going to come in who have already established themselves in another state, and they're going to come in your state and dominate and take over because they know the rules and they have the money to do so. So if you don't pay attention to what's happening, you will not be able to get in this industry. The price will be too high. You won't be able to establish brand recognition. People won't know who you are. And for that reason, you won't make no money. And that's what it really boils down to. I'm tired of asking for social equity. I'm tired of asking for people to be fair to us who are not going to do it. But when you get this money or you hold the power and say, we're not going to buy from you, we're only going to buy from these particular people who are supporting social equity. Now, do I want to talk about that now? Yes. Okay. So fine. I was on a conference call yesterday, right? I was on I had a talk with Wanda James. She's the first African-American dispensary owner in the United States. Leo Bridgewater, he has his own strain. He's a veteran. Just my favorite people. Shayoon is the youngest black dispensary owner in the United States. He's a black man. Multi-state operator as well. He has one in Oregon and Athol, Massachusetts. So he's doing not multi-state. Okay, well, he has multiple cannabis operations. I'll say that. And then who else was on the call? But anyway, we talked about how, social equity was going and how it was not going right in any of the states. And so I am literally tired of discussing what's going wrong. Let's talk about what's going right. The fact that Wanda has a dispensary, the fact that Shayoon has a dispensary, the fact that Leo has his own strain, the fact that Mary and Maine, which is Hope Wiseman, she is a dispensary owner. None of them are social equity applicants. None of them got their dispensaries through social equity. So why are we pushing this as if this is the way to go when we have examples of people in the industry who didn't go that route, and all we got to do is specifically support them? I'm to the point where if it's not those dispensaries, I don't want to go. I don't want to support, and it has to be that line has to be drawn, and it has to be that strict, because anything outside of that is letting them know that it's okay. Like, we kind of condone this behavior because we're going to still support with our financial money. That's not okay. they only learn through being put in the hole. Honestly, they only learn by losing money. That's the only way they learn, like, oh, okay, we probably should have included black people in this conversation so we can know what legislation to write, so that we can know what would be fair for all. We should probably do that. They chose not to. So it's perfectly fine, but let me tell you what's happening in these streets as well. The Trump administration, speaking of they salty asses, they have a whole file of cannabis advocates, people who support cannabis. They have an entire thick ass file of them. It was like over 200 people that was in this particular file, and it was a secret file. And the only way that it came out is it was released. So again, 300 plus citizens were in it, and the people that were in it were Jay-Z, Jack Black, Seth Rogen, John Legend, Snoop Dogg. Like, they literally had all of these people, and it's called a PSA Celebrity Tracker, and it was with the House Oversight Committee. I'm telling you this because this shit is real. Like, people are I probably am on the damn list. Ain't no telling. I promise you I don't know. Ain't no telling. This was put together by Mike Caputo, and he created this file because he said it was called Helping the President Will Help the Country ad. And he was going to put all of this in his ad. And I'm just like, how do you even do, like, make it make sense? Anyway, what he put by each celebrity is what they responded, how their response was when they were contacted by the Trump administration. He put their demographic. He put any legal issues they had, any substance misuse history that they may have. Again, they put in Snoop Dogg's record that he was arrested in 1993 related to driving vehicle related to murder. They had that in his file, and he was exonerated for that, but they still had it in his file. They had Seth Rogen in there. They said that he was a left-wingist who was outspoken about marijuana legalization. They had Kim Kardashian in here. They said she voted for Hillary Clinton, that she was a Christian, that she publicly used drugs at one point in time. She was an advocate for Armenian genocide, anti-gun violence. They literally have a file, and it reminded me of COINTELPRO back in the day with the Black Panther Party, and how they put a list together, and they was like, we can't have the rise of the Black Messiah. They can't have any more Black leadership, anyone that speaks out and who gathers Black people to, get together and forms some type of big base. They always they always take them out. They always find a way, similar to like a Nipsey Hussle, someone who's trying to push his community forward, but who's relatable, who's about Black love, about somehow those people always find a way to die. Always, always, always. Okay, so again, this was a list that was put together by the Oversight Committee, and they again put this list together, and it was uncovered by the Department of Health and Human Services because they did an inquiry about the money that was spent by them. They wanted to see why they were spending so much money during this pandemic and how they were using it and why. So I need you guys to understand that cannabis legalization is such a big deal. This is no longer just the Democratic Party or the Republican Party. It crosses both lines, okay? This has crossed both lines, and now this involves a level of business that can't be ignored. This is a $1 trillion industry, and so globally, domestically, this is single-handedly probably going to save the economy because it's been proven to be recession-proof. I talk about this all the time. So because of this, people are paying attention in ways that they've never paid attention to before. And I feel like the only people that aren't paying attention are Black people, who are most affected by the war on drugs and most affected by legalization and decriminalization and making sure that this goes right and in our favor. So we're not paying attention to this, and this is happening. And can I tell you guys an example of why y'all are not paying attention? Can I show you how? Sure. I'm about to show you how. Let me pull this story up. I'm so sick of y'all. Let me tell you something. Black people, Black celebrities are being finessed on such a high level in the cannabis industry, and they're signing up for it. It's voluntary. It's not something that somebody's putting a gun to their head to. This is a level of ignorance that don't make no damn sense. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is the story. Sean Kemp y'all remember Sean Kemp? He was a basketball player in the NBA, and he was part of the Supersonics. I don't even know if they still alive no more. I don't even know. Sean Kemp. It was a story that came out last week, and I went immediately when I read it. I was like, "That's not even true," but didn't say nothing. Just kept on moving with my life because that's kind of like how it should go. It's like you notice something, whatever. Sean Kemp was named the first African American dispensary owner in the state of Washington. And I was like, that's not true. There's other African American dispensary owners in Washington that I know of personally, but I just dismissed it. I just let it go. That story was reshared so much and it was so inaccurate that people had to come back and say, no, that's not true. Okay? So this is what happened. Sean Kemp was named the first black owner of a retail marijuana shop in Seattle. Again, that was not true. The store opened up on October 30th, and because Sean Kemp's name was attached to it, they had long lines. It was such a huge buzz when it came to it. Washington state cannabis industry officials had to come out and state that he was not the first African American dispensary owner, and he wasn't even the owner of that dispensary. Do you see this? They done came out, embarrassed the hell out of him, said his name is not even on the business license. They literally came out with a statement. It was like, his name is not even on the business license, okay? Since then, his name was added to the business license with the Secretary of State, but it was not added to the Department of Revenue in the state. The Department of Revenue is what matters. That's where the money is collected. That's who tells you where the money has to go to all your investors and your stockholders. So his name is not on that license, okay? Now, he was added to this license as a 5% owner. A 5% owner. This is his name now. He the celebrity. He the reason it's coming to fruition. He the reason people come in because they think it belongs to him. They think this is his dispensary. It's not. He's a 5% owner of the dispensary. Now, the owner of the actual shop, the identity of the owner is white, Asian, and now black because of Sean Kemp. But it says the majority ownership is white. So when you read, now Sean Kemp came out and he said, my name is on this company and I have worked hard to bring Sean Kemp's cannabis to fruition. But did you bring it to fruition? Like, I don't want to ever downplay. I would never like try to diminish what black people do in this industry. I just want you guys to understand what you do in this industry. Sean Kemp could have very well put his money together with a group of other investors and actually owned the actual shop. But what he did was license his name out to the shop and not receive the majority of the ownership of licensing out his name. So now he's only a 5% owner on paper, but through PR and through the world, it looks like he owns this. And I want you guys to understand the level of finesse that this is having on you. This is not going to create generational wealth of 5%. I mean, it could, but I'm just saying, like, you could also own 100%. You could also own 51%. You could also own 55% based on the fact that this is your name and this is your licensing deal that you're creating. And so he's not the only one. There are other celebrities getting got. But you know one celebrity that wasn't got? Drake. Drake is, I just saw something. He's about to get the biggest deal from an independent label or from an actual label ever in history, apparently. He's about to get the biggest deal ever. But he also got the biggest deal when it came to cannabis as well. He is 51% owner of a cannabis deal that he did with Canopy Growth. And I did this, I talked about his deal, I believe, last year, and how he was the only one that got it right because he understands he's the sauce. He's the reason that this is going to move. He's the reason that people are going to come out and purchase this cannabis product from this particular brand because his name is on it and he stands beside it. So he understood his power when most people don't. And this is, five people, another industry that black people can run is endorsement deals. And this is an endorsement deal that did not go, I don't think, in Sean Kemp's favor. I think people say a little bit of something is better than a whole bunch of nothing. And I completely understand that. But your little bit of something could have been a little bit more. is all I'm saying. So I appreciate anyone coming to the industry, but I want you to understand your power, understand the name that you wield, especially in Seattle, Washington. It was the Seattle Supersonics. They're coming because of him. Okay, they're basketball fans. They want to see him. They want to autograph. They probably don't even consume cannabis, but he was an idol of theirs growing up, and so they just want to be closer to him. Want to feel like they're part of history. Whatever the reason that they're coming because of him. So if you don't do your endorsement deal right, if you don't set up your licensing deal right, I got contacted by someone who wants to get a strain for their rap clients. And I'm like, oh, that's not a problem, but I bet you their deal is going to be set up correctly. I bet you my deal going to be set up correctly. I bet you the person that brought this deal to me, their deal is going to be set up correctly so that it works out in everyone's favor. And that's not what happens when black celebrities hook up or partner with white corporations. That's not what's happening in the cannabis industry, and it's super unfortunate. Okay? So we're going to take one more quick break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to give you some more news that you can use on Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. Jane Green Beauty is a luxury skincare line enhanced by CBD. CBD is 100% legal and it won't get you high. What's so great about CBD is it's the perfect balance of nutrients to moisturize your skin, and it's anti-inflammatory, so it helps reduce swelling and puffiness, leaving you with a youthful glow. Jane Green Beauty is bold. Jane Green Beauty is opulent and decadent, and I promise you, if you try it today, it will be your new favorite skincare regimen. Try our full line of Jane Green Beauty products today.
Yo,
Jane-
looking for a new house? Then it's time for you to holler at our guy, the mortgage guy, Alvin Jameson of Loan Depot. Yo, it's your boy Michael McFadden of Mornings with Michael and Friends, and I tell you what, Alvin Jameson and the crew, they really do it all. First-time home buyers, refinances, investment properties, VA home loans too. Hit them up. It's very simple. AlvinJameson.com. Y'all know Alvin like the chipmunk, Jameson like that fine whiskey. You can also hit them up by mobile phone, 404-587-9033. Once again, 404-587-9033. Alvin Jameson, Loan Depot. Tell them you heard it on Power 108.9. What up, Alvin?
And it is now my great honor to introduce the President-elect of the United States of America, Joe Biden.
And we're back, guys. Welcome back to Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. I'm so excited that you guys are here. Hasn't it been a dope show? It's so informative, ain't it? If I do say so myself, because I'm the one that's saying it. But anyway, couple things. Major shout out to some friends of mine in the cannabis industry. They announced this week, because so much is happening, they announced the Cannabis Regulators of Color Coalition. It's an equity-centered leaders coalition. So Cannabis Regulators of Color Coalition is a coalition of government officials appointed and or selected to lead, manage, and oversee the regulatory and policy implementation for legal, medical, and adult use cannabis markets across the United States and abroad. So they took it upon themselves and put it in their hands. They're going to pioneer the development of innovative government programs that seek to acknowledge and address the harms of the racially biased enforcement of cannabis prohibition, also known as the war on drugs. That's their mission. That's what they're going to do. And it's a lot of dope people that I know in this: Nina Parks, Dashida Dawson, Shalene Title, Dr. Rachel Knox. Supernova's part of this. Like people that I recognize, some people that I don't, but they're super dope. They look powerful as hell, and they're all mothers. They're all women. They all feel a need to get the data together to show how the war on drugs was so harmful to our community and why we should be compensated or get restitution for it. So I'm here for this. Make sure you guys go to crc-coalition.org for more information, crc-coalition.org. And again, it's Cannabis Regulators of Color Coalition. So shout out to them, big up to them. We got some amazing things coming down. Georgia Cannabis Coalition, we were on hiatus this year. Next year, we up and running. We got some amazing things in store for you guys because we understand that Georgia is a state that is now blue. It's called Georgia. Okay. So at this point now, we understand that we're going to come back out January 5th. We're going to get those 2 Senate seats, okay? We're going to talk about that every show up until then because I want us to come out. We need Dr. Raphael Warnock in the building. We need John Ossoff to win in the building. And we need Kamala Harris to solidify everything because that's going to be on her in the Senate. If they don't agree, if the House and the Senate don't agree, then Kamala Harris as VP comes in and gives the final vote, okay? So we need to be able to give her the power to do that. And that's how we do that with these 2 Senate seats. We also need to hold her responsible in legalizing cannabis. That should happen in the first 100 days. We also need her to pass the MORE Act, which is the Marijuana Opportunity Reinvestment Expungement Act, okay, which will give us banking, which will federally legalize cannabis, which will also allow people to, get some records expunged. Let's get all of that done with the MORE Act. Let's make sure she passes that. And since she initiated it and she's now the VP, I see absolutely no problem with that happening, okay? I also want to talk to you about, I call this the 7 sectors generating success in the cannabis industry, okay? I want to talk to you guys really quickly. I go through this with clients, and then we decide which sector they want to be in or which one works with their skill set the most, okay? Let's talk about, number 1, logistics. I talk about this all the time. I gave you an example of how to do your own cannabis transportation 1-page business plan. Logistics is going to be huge because you have to transport it. You have to figure out how to sign for it, how to store it. All of those things need to happen. Moving, packaging, shipping is logistics. Products is another one. You can do wholesale, retail. One major part of products is white labeling. We white label with Jane Green Beauty. So if you're interested in that, let us know. But white labeling, making sure that people have accurate, quality products with quality ingredients that they don't have to make themselves. Do you know how easy that's going to be and how people are going to gravitate toward that because they don't feel like doing all that stuff themselves? So products is another one. Retail is number 3. Resale in locations, whether it is a dispensary or a CBD store. You can profit off this part of the industry, but it has to be strategic. It has to be a heavy foot traffic area. And especially with COVID, it has to make sense because even after COVID, I see a lot of things changing about the way people interact in public, with the way people come out their house, etc. So you have to make sure that the area makes sense. If it doesn't, and when I say make sense, your demographic in that area, are they spending the amount of money on your products in that area? If you're in a low income area, even if it does have high foot traffic, do they make 86,000 median or do they make 47,000 median? That matters. And are they going to be able to come in there and actually afford the products that you're offering in that area? So all of that needs to be taken into consideration. Number 4 is real estate. It's a real estate market at the end of the day. Commercial real estate, residential real estate, Airbnbs, Bud B&Bs. You can make a lot of money off of that, making sure that you're not selling any product, but you include the product in the price. So they come in and the product is already on the table when they get there, when they check in, whether whatever it is, a tincture, edible patch, whatever, you can do it that way. You can also have commercial real estate or just the land, and people can come build on your land and you can lease out your land. So there's several ways that you can do real estate, but real estate is huge. Financial management. Financial management is one that people are sleeping on. When I tell you, people are truly sleeping on financial management because $86 trillion dollars are about to be transferred. It's the largest wealth transfer ever. And a lot of people are trying to figure out what's going to happen to that money. And millennials and Gen Xers are the ones getting that money. So financial management can include investing. It can include stocks. It can include REITs, real estate investment trust. It can include estate planning, meaning like, my family has this money that they're leaving me, or this corporation is passing this money down to whoever. And you have to pay attention to that because some of them have laws and bylaws where they can't invest in like illegal or federally illegal substances or things like that. So it has to be in a way that works with their rules and regulations and their estate. But this can be something lucrative for financial planning. They can do forex. They can do all of these other things can be included in this because a lot of global markets are starting to legalize as well. So pay attention to financial management when it comes to cannabis production. This is my area that I love the most because hemp processing plants are literally what's needed right now in the hemp space, because you have to process the hemp that the farmers are growing, and you have to make sure you're able to manufacture other goods out of that. So extraction, manufacturing, all of that stuff goes into production. And in the state of Georgia, you can produce other goods as well from the processing facility. So there's multiple streams of income already in the laws. And then number 7 is e-commerce. You guys, I talk about it all the time. Canada did 200 transactions per minute from e-commerce when they first legalized. I think this is going to be an area that people are sleeping on. The convenience of it all. Subscription boxes is included in e-commerce, making sure that people get it directly to their door and they don't have to leave or go to a dispensary. It's convenient for them because they don't want anyone to see them, or they don't want to waste their time going. Everything is about like, I need this to be more convenient for my life, and showing up at my door is convenient for me right now. I don't want to leave my house. So e-commerce is the 7th one. So I said logistics, products, retail, real estate, financial management, production, and e-commerce. Those are the 7 sectors generating success in cannabis that I can think of right now, and we can definitely break those down more if you guys need to, but I want you guys to pay attention to those areas and know that you can go into those spaces and really, really dominate if you know what you're doing. And if you don't, hire me, okay? Because I do, okay? I'm very aware of what's going on. So, you guys, this was such a great show. I also want to talk to you guys really quickly about what I am reading in order to make sure that I stay up on the cannabis industry, and some books that I do definitely know about. The ABCs of CBD is by a friend of mine. I truly love Shira Adler's book. It's on my nightstand actually, and it's called The ABCs of CBD. And it is an incredible book about the benefits of CBD and how it works in the body, and really just breaking it down for you. There's also CBD, What You Need to Know by Gregory, MD, Dr. Gregory Smith. Look, I said Gregory, MD, Lord. His name is Dr. Gregory Smith, okay? And he has CBD, What You Need to Know. There's also the CBD Handbook, Recipes for Natural Living. And I think these books are really great because most people need a slow introduction to cannabis, even though we're so far behind, mind you. We're like 80 plus years behind. Even the rest of the world has been doing research and making sure that they understand the benefits of cannabis and starting to remove some of the stigma, remove some of the legal barriers when it comes to those who consume. Oregon just legalized all drugs. Did y'all see that? All drugs are legalized in or decriminalized in Oregon. Big up to them, okay? If I want to do crack in Oregon, let's go. You know, I don't, but I'm just saying the opportunity is there, okay? And so people need to know about these books, the CBD books. I got the CBD, the complete guide to CBD at the grocery store, okay? I got this at the grocery store. So be on the lookout. All the signs are there. If you really want to get into the cannabis industry, the signs are 100% there. We have a couple of ebooks with Jane Green as well that you can take advantage of. We have the CBD skincare ebook where it tells you all about that industry, the benefits of CBD skincare and why it's so amazing. We have that one, and we also have one about investing in the cannabis industry. So I'm super excited about the opportunities. I'm excited about what we're doing in the industry. I truly want you guys to pay attention to this. I do. It's not going to go back. Like, we're not going to just say, okay, you know what, we changed our mind. We want cannabis to be illegal again. It's not. I think it's like only 2 states left. It's only like a few states. Idaho. Like, I mean, come on. Like, it's places don't nobody fuck with anyway. Like, so it's fine. You know, we're not going to those places as of yet, but I guarantee you they will come around as well. South Dakota, who legalizes adult use and medical at the same time in 1 year? Come on. Like, it's happening. So if you want to miss out, that's on you. Or if you don't want to be part of this industry, that's on you. But we're going to continue to give you this knowledge because the industry is going to continue to grow. And I'm not talking about no social equity knowledge. That's not my ministry. That's not what I'm here for. I'm here to support those who do because I think it's necessary. But at the same time, I also think it's necessary for the ones who do got money and who do got capital to get in right now. And they need to do this before it's too late. Okay? So I want to end because we want to in the show. I hate leaving you guys. I truly do. Shout out to Sweet Chiba Baby Speaks for these glasses, for my crown, for everything. I can't wait for you guys to see the photo shoot that we did with it. I'm going to end with Tangie's thoughts because I want the best for you. Whatever you think is best for you, I think cannabis is the best thing for me, honey, okay? So I want you to be kind, be considerate, but be careful. Be about your coins. Be about your coins in cannabis, okay? I know what choice feels like. I know what comfort feels like. I know what a strong companion looks like. And I know what other countries sound like. And I know you can too. And I promise you, I know cannabis can help you, whether it's mentally, physically, or financially. And finally, it's not conceited to brag about your capabilities. And with that being said, I'm Tangerine. I'm the CEO of Jane Green and Jane Green Beauty, okay? I'm an international best-selling author and public speaker. And I may not be nothing to you, but I'm the shit where I'm from, okay? Make sure you join us next time on Chocolate Tangerine on Power 108.9. I love you guys so much, and I am out.
Lifted, we get lifted. Let's get lifted. I get lifted. You get lifted. We get lifted. Let's get lifted. I get lifted. You get lifted. We get lifted. Let's get lifted. Let's go higher, higher. It's a pleasure.